Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Panther Games. Because we're
Hello.
actually on episode 9 now. I remembered this week.
Oh wow, I was gonna say I wasn't actually too sure what episode we were on, but you've actually went and remembered, which I'm quite amazed.
I'm equally surprised. I usually forget every week. But now, episode 9. Last week's episode was primarily to do with the return of a long-awaited game, Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
Bloody
Certainly
hell.
looking forward to that after we had a look through it.
Oh, it looks fantastic. It really does. Um, I'm just quickly having a quick search through, but it doesn't seem. No, we've got no comments this week, which is great. Well, it's not. I do like responding to people,
Pros and
but
cons, yeah, my friend.
yeah, we've got nothing bad to respond to, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, it's just you that shared a thing with me, is it? Okay, I can deal with
Yeah.
that. I had to check.
Sorry, that was like so much work for you.
I had to check because sometimes I get people randomly following me and things. So I thought I'd just check it. This week is more of an interesting week because there's not really been too much going off.
It's
So
certainly been a lot quieter considering the last few weeks.
yeah, so what we're thinking this week is basically we're going to discuss a few bits that has gone off, and then I'd like to talk about a few developments in games that are currently released that we may have overlooked or missed or anything like that. I feel like
Sounds like a
that's a
plan.
decent idea. So we'll start off with current news, and I'm going to start with one that I just came across and we were talking about briefly. Um, so everyone knows at this point, Forspoken did not sell well.
Definitely
Um,
not.
to the point, if I'm to check now, because it's still £65 on Steam, there is
Still.
only 3,292 reviews and it's 59% positive.
Oh, great.
Now, there are 5,612 reviews total, but some of those aren't proper and all that other fun jazz.
Yeah.
To put this into comparison and give it an actual bit of understanding, Sons of the Forest released recently, which the first one was absolutely beloved. The second one, it's not amazing, but it's got some really good elements. We discussed that on the other weeks. But
Not to forget that it's still an alpha. They're doing like
yes,
scheduled updates where they're changing things and adding things, such
yeah,
as the hotkey system is back and actually
hooray.
better because I think the first one you only got 4 slots for hotkeys.
Yeah,
This
I
one you
believe
can
so.
do all through 1 through 9 and 0.
Oh, didn't even know.
I think so anyway, if I saw it correctly.
But yeah, because it's still in early access, it's a bit cheaper at the moment as well. But to put in
Quite cheap actually,
comparison,
to be completely honest. Like I wasn't expecting that price at all,
no,
given the
it's
prices of the last few games that came out.
exactly it is £40 cheaper than Forspoken,
Yeah.
and in comparison, has 92,566 reviews,
Oof,
82% positive.
quite the difference.
Yes, a
And the fact that
massive
it's
difference.
averaging at like £40 cheaper than the average game being released at the minute makes it even more popular because it's actually affordable.
Yeah,
Means anyone can just grab it fairly cheap.
exactly. Um, Now, Forspoken, the reason we brought it up yet again is because, as we said, it's not sold well at all. But to back up a little bit of what we were saying in the past, a Twitter post has been made showing that a user has found numerous copies of Forspoken, the Steelbook editions, brand new in packaging, in landfills.
Hmm.
So it didn't even seem like they were going to be able to sell the game, so they just thought, screw it, in the bin. No more. We're done. And I can't even blame them. Apparently, Funko, who make the massively popular collectibles Funko Pops, um, they actually did some. They lost massive profits as well. Due to massive profits caused by macro factors and Funko specific issues, over $30 million worth of Funko Pops were recently tossed into a landfill
Ooh,
as well.
that's a lot of waste, man.
Yeah, they apparently it's not great, but because they were unpopular Funko Pops, they got rid of them, and that's what Funko did. So it's not
Yeah.
unpopular for uncommon, sorry, for unpopular products to be tossed in landfills. But yeah, it seems like even Forspoken's now suffering from this. So here we go. It's a nice bit of fun. But yeah, we had some. I'd say we had some choice words to say about Forspoken when it came out, and that's true because it wasn't as good as they kind of made it out to be,
It was certainly overhyped.
massively. And considering the issues I was dealing with on PC as well, it wasn't great to deal with. I mean, to put this in comparison, I recently downloaded a collection from Vortex to mod Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And this mod pack, I believe, has over 400 mods, and I'm still running over 60 FPS during every situation. And that's a, how many year old game?
Close to 10, if not more.
8 years.
Yeah.
So 8 year old game, and I can get it to run over 60 FPS with over 400 mods. Yet Forspoken can't run on my PC at an average of over 60 FPS. It's a little difficult.
I'll see when we were looking at their spec adjustments and like what were going to be requirements, it was already obvious then that it was not going to be great.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's sad, but sadly, kind of it landed where it knew it was going to end up. The developers had to have known, and that's the reason that no PC keys were ever given out for the actual testing, which is diabolical business practice. Really is. But
In this day and age as well, though, like if you're gonna release a game, it's sort of just fully expected that it's gonna either look good or run well.
yeah, you get
And
one or the other most times.
more often than not, though, with the way things are going, both, to be honest, we're starting to see that happen a lot more.
Yeah,
So
sadly true.
if you can't even get either, then you're like something's not right there.
Yeah. For most occasions, if you can make a game look good, but it doesn't run amazingly, you're gonna get the people who basically say, look, I'll give it a bad review now because they need to work on patches, but I'll be coming back to it when I can run it
Yeah,
because they're willing to stick with it. If you get a game that doesn't look good but plays well, you need to make sure that the rest of the mechanics are solid. Otherwise, you're not
yeah.
getting anything. And if you do
The
neither,
prices people are
you're
having to
screwed.
pay for different parts for components and stuff, they're expecting to be able to run a game
Oh,
really
yeah.
well. So when it comes out, when a game like Forspoken comes out and it's running as poorly as it did, it's not a great look.
No, 100% not. Especially when they're up in prices how they are.
Yeah,
$70,
that's
£65.
crazy.
I was actually having a discussion with a guy on Twitter about this, and he was saying that basically digital copies should be treated very similar to physical copies, as in if it's high in demand, then prices should go up. And I went, yeah, I can understand that, but how about Forspoken and Square Enix? They upped the price, but there was no demand. I
Wasn't
can't
even
really understand that.
wasn't even close to the demand, dude.
No. There was a little bit in regards to PlayStation, but I want to see if there's any purchase numbers for Forspoken.
That I'd be interested in.
I'd be interested to see roughly. Yeah, I bought it. Go on then. What are the results of this? Give me the results. Oh, can't even get into the bloody results. It's just not allowed. Oh, right, you gotta be logged in to see that shit. Mean.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's no actual information regarding this.
Probably because they're too embarrassed to release the official numbers, man.
Yeah, I'd say so. All they're saying is it's lackluster. But let's just say it did that bad that the company that made it is now a complete subsidiary. And if I remember correctly, it got kind of dissolved into the main company so that they're just working with other teams from now on instead of creating games by themselves. Yeah, it
It's
is.
safe to say that it didn't go very well for them, so that's not
Now,
surprising.
Forspoken developer gets reabsorbed into Square Enix as sequel hopes fade. So yeah, they've just been completely absorbed back into Square Enix. They're no longer Luminous by themselves, and that kicks in on May 1st. But apparently, they're still going to work on the prequel DLC in Tanto We Trust, and that's about it.
I mean, they don't really have a choice unless they want to start giving people money back,
Oh yeah.
which you'll never see a company do, provided it's by their own choice.
Oh, too true. But I think we should move on to something a bit more interesting.
Yeah,
A more enjoyable topic, shall we?
most certainly, yes, please.
So, we were just talking about Sons of the Forest mixed in with this. So
Yeah.
I thought we'd discuss a little bit about they've actually added some new features that sound pretty fun. Well, some of them are just useful, but one of them sounds amazing. So,
I'm
Sons
gonna
of the
go ahead and
Forest,
guess you're referring to a hang glider.
you are 100% correct.
Hmm.
I did find out though you can still sled in a turtle's shell.
I remember we were doing that. We killed a turtle, and
Oh.
all we got was a bit of meat off him. You were very
Yeah,
disappointed.
that was because you needed to kill a sea turtle, not a baby turtle.
Oh, so we killed a baby turtle, not a sea,
Yeah,
not an
you have to
actual
go
turtle.
to the actual ocean just at the edge of the island to get sea turtles.
Quick disclaimer: I might not be here for next week's episode because my girlfriend's sitting beside me with a knife in her hand, cutting vegetable. As I've just said, we've killed a baby turtle. I might not live.
Quick disclaimers. They're great. So, yes, they've added hang gliders, which I'm very excited to see how that will work. But they've also
Oh,
added two little helping features. It's a patch update, so they've just had a little bit of things. First being the ability to lock doors, which is fantastic news. And second, they've actually added it now so Kelvin can't chop down the tree where your house is.
yeah, I saw that. Calvin got a huge nerf, man.
Then again, so have shotguns. Apparently, the damage for a shotgun has been halved.
Shotgun, man. Why?
Apparently, it was just way too overpowered.
It's a shotgun, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a shotgun up to a naked cannibal and shoot him in the face and tell me how that goes for you. I
Oh,
think that might be
apparently,
slightly unnecessary.
here we go. Lockable doors, new defenses, a better Kelvin, movable furniture, a hang glider, binoculars. That's interesting. They've added binoculars. The ability to reset settings, thank fuck. A new boss fight in the food bunker, not a clue. They fixed the fish trap!
Oh, they have?
They fixed the fish trap!
I don't know,
Well,
man. Calvin was just being a Sigma male, dude. He was showing us how to do it. You just walk over to the water and grab a fish, man. We just sucked.
yeah, he just grabs fish straight out of water atoms. That's it. It's just
So were
mental.
we actually doing something wrong with the fish trap, or
No,
was it?
the fish trap was bugged.
Oh, okay, good to know.
But continuing on, not just the updates have been going well, but it turns out the Sons of the Forest success has actually given the original PS4 game a 150% boost in sales. So it's actually bringing back to life the original The Forest.
That is strange.
Well, because a lot of them, I don't think Sons of the Forest. Yeah, Sons of the Forest is launching in early access on PC. The demand for a PS5 and
Ah.
PS4 version of the game is clearly high. They're excited, they want it, but they can't get it because it's PC exclusive currently.
Hmm.
It did take them a few years. It took them a fair few years to actually get a PC release, a console release for the
Yeah.
Forest. So it won't be instant, not by a long shot.
Well, I'm sure the developers won't be complaining because they'll be getting more revenue anyway.
Oh, they'll be over the moon.
But in fairness, that'll be really good as well because it means they'll have more funding then because the first game is going to be making more money again.
Oh, 100%. It's going to help a lot. But yeah, that is our topic really on Forspoken and in regards to Sons of the Forest.
Oh, I forgot to say, I'm not certain if it's possible, but it
Go on.
might be that you are able to hang glide your way around the entire map,
That would be amazing.
but I'm not certain.
It would be good if you could. I'll
Let
have
me
to.
let me let me
We'll
double
have to take a look.
check. There was a video. Yeah, there's a video that on YouTube titled "Flying Across the Entire Island in Sons of the Forest." So I don't know if maybe it's in one fell swoop or just only like mainly moving with hang gliding.
Might
That
have to
seemed
have a
pretty
look
cool.
at that. Yeah, that'll be great fun, especially if it's workable. Why not?
I mean, I'm
So,
sure you can make a heck of a distance if you go to like the peak of the mountains.
oh yeah, 100%.
I'm sure you can probably build on them as well. So if you had enough dedication to drag enough logs up there and build yourself just a tower to go on top of, you could probably make a hell of a distance.
Oh yeah, 100%. It'd be great fun as well. So, we also have some information about Starfield, and everyone may have already seen this. If you don't know already, though, which I'll be very surprised if you don't, Bethesda's next new IP, which means not a Elder Scrolls or Fallout or any of that, brand new game from Bethesda, Starfield, has actually got a release date now. There's been articles coming out recently just to let us know that basically Bethesda actually chose the release date. It was not Microsoft because a lot of people was trying to claim that actually it was Xbox that chose it, and apparently, according to this quote here, who's this from now? According to VGC journalist Jordan Miller, who claimed in the site's most recent podcast episode that Microsoft is keenly aware about releasing a potential cyberpunk and has given free rein to Bethesda and Todd Howard to choose a release date that works best for them. The date was always in flux, was always on Bethesda and Todd Howard to come to Xbox and say, right, let's do this. Because Xbox is acutely aware they cannot cyberpunk this, says Midler. This cannot happen again, especially with the Bethesda reputation for how fucked their games can generally be at launch. I love that quote.
You see, they've I feel like they've gotten quite lucky, and the I guess the way to put it, the fuckiness of their games has
Yeah,
always played well into the game itself.
yeah, apart from Fallout 76.
Well, no, we don't talk about that one.
I still launch
Every,
it every
everyone,
couple of years.
everyone gets one, dude. You know.
So, the game is due to be released on September 6th this year.
Nice.
So you don't have to wait too long, which is always nice.
Still 6 months though.
Oh, 6 month, yeah, but 6 month fucking fly by nowadays, mate.
That is very true.
So you've not got to wait another year or so, but in a bit of time, we'll have access to whatever this new game is all going to be about. They are
There's gonna be a
apparently.
hell of a lot of hype around that.
Oh, yeah. There is apparently a Starfield stream coming out, I think it is, at some point soon.
That'll be a big one.
There it is. Starfield Direct. When does that happen? Early March. June 11th, Starfield Direct. And apparently they're going to show us a bit more information regarding the game. And also discuss a bit more regarding the actual building of the game itself. So there'll probably be a bit of demo, some talking with the developers, and a bit more information released. So definitely check that out. I know I'll be probably sat watching that, especially because it's a Sunday.
You'll be catch it.
Oh, it's Sunday. Let me try and work out what time that is, actually. You know what? Close to the time, we'll find out what time it is, and what we'll probably do our podcast for the day. And if you want, we'll do a live stream, and we can stream it ourselves and actually respond to it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Because if we book it in advance, that way we both know we're fucking free.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we've got no chance. But yeah, we'll work that out. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we can be hopeful. That's about it.
As it stands, always big news, so I'd definitely be looking forward to it. So.
Oh, 100%. Trying to find that site that we used last week. Watch Party.
Watch Party.
I was trying to figure it out. Watch Party. New room, please. Sorry, I'm just setting things up briefly. There we go. And I'll just quickly send you a invite for that, but we'll be using this in a second. So I'll talk about this last topic while we're just getting that ready. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, could reportedly be delayed into 2024. Now, this game, every time it pops up, I've got points where I'm like, it looks interesting. And then they show me a bit more, and I'm like, But then every time they come back again, they'll show some more information and some more video footage, and it looks good. And then they give you a bit more information, and again, it just drops off. But for the past couple of years, they've been doing this now, and each time it keeps getting pushed back and back and back. So I'm not sure how much longer they can deal with pushing it back for at this point. But it seems as though they might end up pushing it back further. But yeah, apart from that, are you ready to watch this brand new trailer, Will?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Because we have a new game that's been announced. Been announced for a bit now. But this is Lord of the Rings Gollum. You ready?
I'm sure.
We'll do the same as what we did with Dead Island 2 last week.
Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna be interested to see what the sense is behind this.
Well, this is the story trailer. I'll get you the other one after.
Sorry, I forgot the note boy.
Now, even just there, you can tell it's a beautiful landscape.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about the voice actor for Gollum though.
No, me and Shane said that last night because I showed it her and it was like,
The darkness grows beyond our borders. My people are growing anxious. We cannot let this evil linger among us, Gandalf.
Gandalf is actually just got a brown beard.
Or he's Gandalf, White, I guess.
The Lord
Gandalf's
sent
grey
me,
before.
his emissary,
Yeah.
to oversee
Many
that
years
in
before.
person. The creature, bring it back. Kill it, if need be.
We must find help. He mustn't see us. No, not him. Don't be scared.
Yeah, just thinking this segment is a bit quiet for the podcast actual side, so I'll probably cut this. But yeah, that's basically what's been announced.
Not so sure how I feel about it, to be honest.
No, I was very
It's sort
similar.
It's sort of throwing me off about who I thought Gollum was as a character, man.
Yeah, I mean, the part that's intrigued me is it seems like it's going to be a stealth game where you're barely going to be able to do any combat whatsoever. Which
Yeah.
means it will be a game that will be dedicated pretty much to you just dodging, hiding, keeping away, and out of sight constantly.
Feels like it's more going to be watch the storyline game than
Exactly.
work your way through the levels instead.
No, exactly. I'd say it's probably going to be a bit of both mixed in with that, but it's not going to be anything that we've really seen from many games before. So it could be interesting, but we'll just have to wait and see, really, I'd say. Which is a little bit of a troublesome one, if I'm honest with you. It's not as great as we'd like, but at the same time, it does still have its intrigue at its base level. That's what
Yeah.
I'd say.
I'll
Oh.
definitely stand by not liking the voice actor though. That would probably honestly, just because I quite enjoy watching both Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I honestly think the voice actor would be enough to throw me off from playing the game.
Oh, I can understand that. So, anyways, I have I have a little bit of a topic to discuss about an old game that I started playing recently again. Have you ever played the new Hitman trilogy?
I've not, no. I never really played Hitman.
Hitman was one of my favourite series, even growing up.
It was a little
Played
slow for me, so I never really got into it.
I played a hell of a lot of Blood Money when I was younger, and I loved it. And for me, that was quite a bit of the pinnacle of Hitman like. Then Absolution came out. Absolution's pretty much the black sheep of the Hitman family, and then this new trilogy's finally come out. Now, the reason I'm bringing up Hitman 3, and I'm very surprised you've not heard about this, because Hitman 3 has a VR mode.
Oh no, I know about the VR mode.
Oh, so you know about the goofy ragdoll physics.
Oh yeah, I don't know how many times I've been scrolling down TikTok and came across the same video where he tries to choke the guy from behind with like the wire, and the body like freaks out and just launches out of the map.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it makes me laugh every time, but
Well, they added a new mode recently on top of VR and things like that because the story's come to an end in this. And what they've done is they've turned Hitman into like a roguelike. And by that I mean you basically you start. It's called Freelancer. This new mode. Forgot to say the name for some reason, but you start a campaign. In this campaign, you're going to take on 4 separate syndicates of your choice. Each syndicate, you'll have different side objectives, etc. But unlike how you've always been as Agent 47, you don't have any weapons to start with, nor do you have any money to buy them. You have to complete assassinations, complete objectives, and earn the money up. And any weapons that you take out, you can lose if you fail the objective, or if you forget to pick them up and bring them with you. So it's all about kind of paying attention to your resources as you're going out and taking
like
on
that
these
concept.
objectives. It's really enjoyable, and you can play it without ever playing the campaign and everything. But with Hitman 3 as well, which I do like as well about the Hitman trilogy, you can play through Hitman 1, 2, and 3 by just getting the third one. So you can play through all the campaign, but it also mixes all the levels in with Freelancer. And Freelancer is a completely free update. They just added it to the game because they want to give more to the game and add more to it. And it's just great to see, to be honest with you, that they're continuing to support such an old game. And to be honest, that they're doing it well. Because, as I found out just the other day, I was watching a few videos on this. The second part to this trilogy, Hitman 2, almost didn't release because Square Enix and iOS Entertainment actually walked away from each other. They split their partnership. And for a long time, iOS and Square Enix actually worked together. But now IO Interactive is its own thing. It's become its own creation. But Hitman 3 is no longer Hitman 3, it is officially Hitman World of Assassination. And it seems as though they're wanting to take the freelancer things and do more with it. So, yeah, it's added like a new layer to the game, if I'm brutally honest with you. And it's a layer that I think it needed.
What I seem to see as well in games is when they add new things and you don't have to pay already paid for the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a few missions in this where, like, I paid for the World of Assassinations, and the game is bloody pricey. It costs me, it's about 58.50, 60 quidish. They know what they're charging for, so to speak. But to get certain things, certain missions, it basically charges you dependent. But a lot of it's now thrown in because of Hitman 3 hours, and it seems as though. Let me just check this actually. I might be spreading some porkies. Let's find out. That's weird. Oh, right, they haven't done this yet. I don't think. I don't know actually how that's working, so I'm gonna have to look into that, and I'll update next week in regards to that. But yeah, the things that they're actually adding within Hitman 3, if they keep it up, I think it's just gonna make the game even better on its own merits. And hey, even if they made an entire game dedicated to Freelancer and just expanded upon it, people would be very fucking happy about that. I know that much for certain. Do you have any games you'd like to talk about, Will?
I don't think so. I keep seeing a lot of ads for Diablo 4's release.
Still a lot going on with that.
So a lot of little snippets they keep releasing. What else? I said to you earlier about HC VR, hot dogs, horseshoes, and hamburger grenades. For anyone that doesn't know it,
Yeah.
great VR game. They're still going hard in updates for that. What else do we have?
Oh, I was just talking about that Ghost of Tabor, wasn't I, to you beforehand?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. Not played any yet, so I'll give an update probably next week as to how I feel regarding it. But it's basically a VR version of Escape from Tarkov mixed with DayZ. And I'm very interested to see how that's going to work.
It'll definitely be interesting to hear about.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm just in the playtest at the moment, so I'm very intrigued about how it'll turn out. But it looks like it'll be quite interesting overall, especially because it's PvPvE. Nothing wrong with that,
Well,
and
that's
you can
sort
do
of what
player.
Daisy is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Tarkov as well. Actually, they both are. They're both PvP and VE.
Oh yeah, they're both the exact same in that regard. But I think it's going to be quite interesting just to see how it's going to work, as well as how have they made the maps, how have they created the weapons, are we able to do manual reloads, that sort of stuff.
That's always what it is for me when it comes to a VR game. Is it's solely based on your combat system, like how do the weapons handle, how do they look,
Yeah.
and how accurate and how hard is it to use them when you're actually aiming down sights.
Oh, 100%, mate. I have a lot of issue with some VR games nowadays. Um, like our favourite from when we've played, 100%, I'd say, After the Fall.
Yeah,
That
their weapon system is perfect.
it's just so
I
fun.
wouldn't really change anything about it, to be honest.
No, it was so fun, and if you nail it fast, the manual reloading is just so much enjoyable. So enjoyable.
It's so satisfying as well to be able to do stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and the fact that they actually gave you the choice, so if you don't feel confident, you can actually just take the automatic reload. That's your call. But you will actually sacrifice a bonus that manual reloaders get, because manual reloaders get plus 10% to their damage, whereas automatic reloaders don't.
The thing that's really nice about After the Falls reloading as well is the fact that you don't have to be like pixel perfect with your reloads. You don't have to shove the mag to the point where it feels like you're having to put your one controller through another to really get it fully
Yes.
in the gun. It does snap it in quite a bit, which for me is really important because your controllers are unfortunately there and they
Yeah.
act as your hands. So with some headsets, obviously I know there's somewhere like they're basically around your hand rather than in your hand,
Yes.
which I feel like would work a lot better. But mine, unfortunately, aren't like that. And it makes it quite difficult sometimes for reloading guns, especially, again, I'll take back to HVVR with the smaller weapons. It's very difficult to get a magazine in, and then even harder sometimes to like pull back the chamber of a pistol.
Yeah. That I would
But
agree with that. You
After
need
the
to,
Fall have nailed it, man.
yeah, you really do need to, as a VR developer, really nail the in between of are you assisting too much or are you assisting too little? You've really, it's a fine balance, but if you can nail it like After the Fall did, I think you're going to go a long way. After that, you're
Absolutely.
just going to make your game fun.
Yep, and they
And
did a damn good job of that too.
oh, didn't they just? The amount of times we just run around just shooting at enemies and hoping for the best.
I
Think,
think that they made it so like it wasn't so difficult because there's like just they were like enemies everywhere all the time,
yeah.
but it was enough enemies that like you're not getting bored because you're running through more level than you are
Oh,
playing a
100%.
level. Like
It's like,
there are a lot of enemies. Not even that there are a lot of enemies.
oh,
Like
yeah.
you don't get much breather, but when you do beat like a wave of enemies in the area you're in,
Mm.
you can't just like choose to not go forward for a second to catch your breath. They're not constantly coming at you, but the moment you do go forward, more likely than not, you're going to be fighting another group of enemies.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, though, since you and me last played, when they did the Dissension update, as well as adding those two new maps, they've also apparently done a balancing recoil reduction on the shotgun and reverted the Tommy gun recoil to what it was before. Apparently, before we played,
Yeah,
um, tweaked pump shotgun auto slide time to what it was, and lowered all last stand damage multipliers. So
I'll be honest. You're the only one who's used the shotgun. It
yeah,
was far too slow for me to be able to use it, and in how high tense that game is,
yeah.
to be using a slow weapon like a shotgun.
See, I
It was
managed to nail the reloading and the cockback pretty quickly, and I was able to actually fire and get some shots out with that pretty quick. So, wasn't too
like
bad.
for me, if I was gonna use the shotgun, I would have to like remember to use it for like when we're up against like a boss, like the
Yeah.
mini bosses that are always around. Which honestly, now I think about it, might not be a bad idea.
Mm.
But then I can't get enough of the AR. Like you saw my
Oh
output
yeah.
bullets with that thing.
To be fair, when I started switching to things like actual ARs, it was really enjoyable. But I also still just love the bare bones pistol.
Oh yeah, the pistol was brilliant.
I'm not even.
That was
Oh,
always my loadout was the pistol and the AR. Like you didn't
yeah.
need anything else.
The pistol was great. And it's so weird to me because the pistol usually complete opposite of what you'd want.
Yeah,
But
normally
in that game,
it's like a starting weapon. You know, you use it at the beginning of the game. You wouldn't really touch it anymore once you start getting actual weapons. But they've actually made it where it's actually such a viable weapon.
it's so useful throughout the entire game. And I've honestly, I think you and me, even when we go back, will probably still continue with the pistol.
Oh, honestly, I don't think I'll use a different loadout, man. It'll still be pistol AR.
Oh, 100%. It's the easiest way, to be honest with you.
Just
Oh,
enjoyable.
oh yeah, guaranteed, mate. Apparently, our social media managers just messaged me. The one day I need the internet, and our internet provider starts fucking with us. Can't watch the video
Oh no,
every fucking Sunday.
that is unfortunate, man.
Yeah, because they'd be watching the podcast from last week to put them together into TikToks today. So yeah, apparently screwing with them a bit. Oh dear.
Again, though, I know we've said it before, but I'll happily say it every week. The dedication from our social media manager is beyond comprehensible.
Yeah.
They do a lot for us, and we are very grateful.
Oh, 100%. I mean, we would not have got as many views or as much as much tension on this as we would have without them. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
It took me a second there to like put everything through my head. Sorry. Um, but yeah, they do a fantastic job for us, and we can't thank them enough. Really can't. But yeah, we do have
Speaking of, before you move on, of all the
fantastic.
TikToks that have been made, there's not be the social media manager has not made one of us commenting on that. So let the TikTokers know. I want to see one.
Yeah.
When this video gets released next week, that's one of the first things I want to see come up my TikTok. Let it
you
be known.
let it be known that we appreciate the social media manager. I do like that. That's quite amusing.
And let it be known that everyone else knows that we appreciate them.
No, exactly though. We do really. We're massively happy, and we can't thank enough for all the support that we get in regards to everything. And yeah, we just think, well, we wouldn't be where we are today. As simple as that.
Yep.
I do have a little bit more news. Sadly, it's not much because, as I said, this week has been really
Been a lot
quiet.
slower.
As sad as I am to say about it, there is one thing though that has been popping up a lot, and I've talked about it in numerous other weeks. But
Scaring me, Rory.
it has to be mentioned. So, the issue I am discussing is the Activision Blizzard takeover or purchase. There's been more and more information about this every single week, and it just will not stop. To the point where, 1 second, just pulling up the article that I came across. Here it is. So, it's brought out some new information where there's apparently a chance here where Microsoft is set to win the EU approval on the Activision with licensing offer to Sony and Nintendo. Sources have apparently stated. So there is actually a chance of it going through now, which is quite interesting in my opinion. The fact that there's actual progress being made. Hooray. But that that specific one was published on the 3rd of March. Since then, on the 9th of March, Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal might still be blocked by UK CMA even if EU approve it, which is very much possible. And to be honest, I'd be a bit annoyed with the UK for that. But the reason the UK are being so adamant about it is because they believe it goes against competition laws, which basically in the UK we want everyone to have a fair chance to compete equally. Which is funny because, well, we'll not get into politics, but actually, moving on. We'll not discuss that.
Dangerous road, my friend.
Yeah. But basically that's the major reason as to what they're claiming. Now, Sony must have decided they were going to fucking run with this because they're not budging either. And to actually go along with this, Sony have actually stated that they do not. Here it is. Sony Interactive Entertainment is extremely skeptical that an agreement with Microsoft could be reached, much less monitored and enforced successfully. Now, it's really interesting that they'll say that because they are yet to walk to the to the actual table to possibly discuss an agreement. They're making these comments before ever actually going to the table with them. But they also have cited Sony have also cited Microsoft's history of non-compliance and behavioural commitments as reasons not to allow its purchase of Activision Blizzard, and recommended to the CMA that the merger be blocked, or subjected to a structural remedy instead of a behavioural one. I disagree with this, considering, and it's a major point I make a lot, Sony were the ones to prevent bloody cross-platform playing for years because they wouldn't step up to the table. They have done it for so long. They've always been the company that goes, no, we don't need it. So why should we let people play with each other? Or why should we do this? No point to us. It was less in benefit for the player and more in benefit for the company. That was the issue with them.
Look at where we are now, though. Crossplay does exist. It took us a while to get there, but it does exist. So
Oh, it bloody did.
it's definitely not in their favor to be saying no to things.
Now, this is the thing though. The deals are actually being put through as Microsoft are saying, look, we are giving this much. Yet, I'm surprised, and quite so, that it's never been brought up about Sony purchasing rights to sections of games, like Hogwarts Legacy, the exclusive quest, Call of Duty zombie maps and things like that, or entire modes of the multiplayer. Why are they allowed to purchase game modes and maps for exclusive times, and that's counted as fine and competitive, but buying the competition, no, that's bad. Someone did say though that apparently they disagree with this purchase of Activision Blizzard and think that Microsoft should just let Sony buy them, which is the dumbest take I've ever heard in the history of takes.
You are?
Yeah, that was genuinely someone's take. Let's do this. Microsoft worth, Sony worth. Here we go. So Sony is worth 108.38 billion US dollars. Microsoft is worth 1.85 trillion US dollars.
Shit.
Do you really think Sony's going to be able to make that purchase? Like, they could get every single employee to max out every credit card, loan, and debt in existence and still not make that purchase. It's not going to go to plan.
They're literally worth, what was that, over 100 times more than what?
Yeah, well, no.
Did I hear what? I might have heard the numbers in.
108.38 billion to 1.85 trillion.
108. I'm gonna be honest. I straight up thought you said 1.8.
No. If that was the case, they would be worth a hell of a lot more. It'd be near 200 million. 200 times, sorry. But in this regard, they are worth about 18 times more.
A heck of a lot, simply put.
Yeah. So it's daft to think that Sony should even be allowed near purchasing Microsoft, primarily because Sony does have actual expertise in games, audio, TVs. Yeah, fair play. They don't really have expertise though in the other areas of what Microsoft runs. For example, computer operating systems. Actual, no, they do have expertise in hardware.
That's actually quite a funny point to make. You know, sure, Sony has all these like different systems, like the TVs and all that, but that's one whole item. Whereas Microsoft, with all their singular components required to make one item that they sell.
Yeah. Microsoft, though, only really focused on the operating system as a whole. Their operating system, though, does have to obviously work with a lot more hardware, so it has to be technical to use that. But there's a lot more variables in regards to this, as well as the many other things that Microsoft do. For example, Microsoft and Sony many years ago, I say many years ago, I think it were only about 3 or 4. Let me just check this. Yeah, there it is. Back in 2019, Microsoft and Sony actually teamed up for the future of gaming, as it was put to, and it was basically Microsoft giving Sony access to cloud streaming software, because Microsoft Azure is the thing that allows you to actually create cloud networks and also do cloud storage, which would then allow PlayStation to create an entire cloud streaming software to rival, at the time of its existence, Google Stadia. Remember when that was a thing?
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, 2019. And
Right.
when did
I
actually
personally
that die?
hated the idea of Google Stadia. I thought it was an absolute joke. Like the shit that was going around and still going around where people get their accounts hacked, mainly because of their own stupidity. But like to have all your games in one place.
Oh, it shut down on my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, January 18th, 2023.
That's funny.
That's fantastic.
It was only recent. It was only recent then.
Yeah, shut down this year. So yeah, Google Stadia. When did it actually start?
I just never thought it was a good idea, man.
No, it started November 19th, 2019. So it was up and running for 3 and a little bit of years.
I feel like they could have had different purpose for it. Not necessarily just a place to play all your games, but something different. I feel like they could have done something with it.
Oh yeah,
But I was never gonna touch it, man.
I
No
don't blame you.
chance.
I think I tried it once and I jittered through everything. So I just kind of stopped. If you actually go into the Stadia website, 'cause it's still up for some reason, it just says, "Thank you for playing with us. Stadia was shut down on January 18th, 2023. Find up-to-date information in our help center." Oh dear. It's sad, but at the same time, it does have some amusement to it, I do have to admit.
Hmm.
And do you remember Oh wait, no, that's to do with the same video we actually discussed that day. No, actually, apparently went further. Atomic Heart. Remember our discussion of that a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Apparently, the Vice Prime Minister of Ukraine and Minister of Digital Transformation tweeted official letters he sent to the heads of Sony, Microsoft, and Valve, urging them to block Atomic Heart from their gaming platforms. Because they cited their concerns that there is a potential risk that the money raised from purchases of the game will be transferred to Russia's budget, so it will be used to fund the war against Ukraine. Now, this follows what the guy said in the YouTube video a little while ago.
Yeah.
Some users could make a claim that they could simply pirate it, Atomic Heart, and pay no money to the Russian devs and still enjoy the game. To that, I can't say anything. At that point, it depends only on your moral compass. That's the guy who made the video. Those critical of Atomic Heart have pointed to an alleged connection between Mundfish, the game's developer, and Russian state-owned and state-sanctioned companies and enterprises, a charge that Mundfish denies. Those calling for boycotts have also suggested the game is Russian propaganda. It doesn't actually have anything, once again, though, that actually proves it solidly.
It's a tough discussion now, unfortunately.
It is. This is something that I will put to it. This kind of approach to the showcase of the USSR and communism walks a thin line between using it for world building and praising it. Harenko said in the video titled "Please Don't Buy," if you remember that.
Yeah.
Harenko did not respond when requested for a comment, though, by the actual news site. And this is NBC News, so they're quite large. Not really one that I trust, but here we are. The fact that Russians can easily launch video game stuff with propaganda and listed on Steam, Microsoft Steam and Nintendo shops amidst a war against sovereign nation is the ultimate showcase of how mild the sanctions are, one critic tweeted. But, as I said, there is nothing listed there that actually states clearly that there is an issue, or there is a problem, or that this money is definitely going to go to the Russians. Nowhere is there proof of this. And as I said all that time ago, I would trust a money-hungry company like Microsoft, Sony, and the rest more than I'd trust someone random on the internet. Don't know if you'd agree with that, but
For the most part, pretty much.
yeah, I'd just say that's about how it is. They're the guys that are going to do the research because they're the guys that are going to have money losses if they don't. Whereas one guy on the internet is not really going to lose anything apart from credibility. And as we know about people on the internet and credibility, they don't really care much about it. But anyways, I think that does us for this week, mate.
I suppose there's not much left. Not that there was much to begin with this week, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, some weeks are slower, some weeks are better, but we'll just have to wait and see what comes for us next week. Fingers crossed, something good. But anyways, thank you all for joining us in episode 9.
Roy.
9. 9. Yes, 9. If you're German, you'll think I'm just saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Horrific. Dreadful joke. Anyways, thank you all for joining us, and we hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to click any of those follow, subscribes, and add us to any lists, etc. I don't know the full details still. I'm still learning this stuff.
A
But
lot of it too.
oh yeah, there's so much. There's so much, especially with all the back end stuff.
I'm not even sure how many websites you've thrown us onto, to be honest.
I didn't. I just applied to a couple and then applied to Apple, and Apple just threw us on everything. He didn't even ask. He just threw us on everything. Like, we're on Audible. I didn't even know, but we're on Audible. I don't know what we're doing on Audible, but we're there.
We're talking, that's what.
But no, thank you very much. Feel free to do all the fun stuff that's spoven around. And if you have any comments, leave them on the TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. As a rating, if you're on Apple, because I know you can leave a rating. I know that. But yeah, feel free to do those things and just let us know what you think, or if there's anything that we can do to actually improve. It'd be great to hear. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye bye.